I just bothered to look up here, guys. Sorry, I know this is live right now, but I just looked up at the cam. There we go. Okay, hey, how's it going? Nobody in there because we're not supposed to be doing a live chat right now, but I'm really pissed off because I totally effed myself today, and so I figured I would hop on here and wait for some people to cheer my ass up because I am a very, very frustrated camper today. I'll talk about it here in just a minute. If we get anybody in here, we'll see. But let's see. So I was dumbed it. Well, first of all, I did a range trip today and cleaned up the car a little bit because of the dog. I had to take him over to the vet, and actually that ended up pretty well because I happened upon about 37 rounds of 9mm that I didn't have before, which is awesome. It's always nice to get some ammo. And then I found my CR 2032, or no, not 2032s, 123s, CR 123s. I had lost them for freaking ever ago, and then I found them today, which is super nice and awesome. Because those are not cheap. Oh, that's loud. Sorry about that. I'm listening to myself on the side so that I can see if there's anybody in the chat. So anyway, yeah, so at least that part turned out well. I found a little bit of ammo, which will relate to the story here in just a couple of minutes. And the batteries are cool because I've got like a crap ton of flashlights here. Here's a TLR1 that didn't have batteries that now can have batteries. So that's nice. I actually really like the way TLR1s, like their door is, but I digress. Let's toss some batteries in here really quick. Maybe, jeez. Close this thing. Anyway, I know it's not too exciting of a chat right now. Hey everybody, how's it going? But so yeah, to get to my my painful story. So the camera that I have is not a cheap camera. I've got a well, that's ineffective. Oh, I put one of them going the wrong way. I'm a dumbass. God, today is just, it's a day, let me tell you. So anyway, I have a, there we go. I've got a Sony A6100, not a cheap camera. And it's got a lot of different modes on it. I actually just got the slow motion working because I needed one of the like super high speed SD cards on it. And I did a range trip today. I recorded stuff for about 6 different videos. Got home, started downloading stuff onto my computer, getting everything kind of set to be able to organize it. And I opened one up to double check it, and it's in slow motion with no audio. So on the top of my camera, I'm not going to pull it off because it's already hooked up to the computer, but there's a little dial that like gives you specific spots for movies, for different presettings of like of pictures and stuff like that. And it was popped to the side by 1. And that one spot was 120 frames per second, which is slow motion, and no audio. So I recorded 2 hours worth ish of range video today with no audio. Hey Kathleen, how's it going? Yeah, with no audio. So I am not a happy camper. I'm just frustrated, and I'm relying on society to help me feel better about my blunder, because it was a pretty big F up, especially with the way that prices are right now on ammo. It was not a good time. Man, I'm trying to shrink one of my windows. Hey, Shooting Gallery New England, how's it going? Turbo Paw, what's up, man? Give me just a second. So Turbo Paw is asking if I can get this thing. There we go. I'm trying to resize my window so I can actually see you guys in the chat. Tell us about my Rock Island Armory TAC Ultra. It's actually Builder Shooter is the one who's got that. He got it through me, but he's the one who ended up picking that one up. And any milling for optics. So our TAC Ultra is not milled for an optic. It does have it's got internal gun parts from Evolution Gunworks. It's got a Fusion Firearms trigger and magazine base pads and a magwell from Taylor Freelance. As far as optics milling, I think Hayes Customs is the only one that does optics millings for that particular gun. It is not cheap. However, it is also really freaking awesome. That gun is it's a tack driver, and you cannot feel recoil with that gun. It is just absolutely smooth and glorious, and it's awesome. So Kathleen says, cheer up, it's only a blip. It's only a blip that cost me, unfortunately, about 200 rounds of 9mm. And in today's price, that's like $120. So, hey, Kathleen, in the other chat. The TAC Ultra is a tack driver. It's a hell of a gun. It's super fun to shoot. I don't get to shoot it nearly as much as I want to because it's builders. But he's got strict instructions that if he were to ever consider selling it, it must go to me. But yeah, the TAC Ultra, it is just a freaking awesome gun. Kathleen says 120, big deal. It wouldn't be such a big deal except like not only is it $120, but it's also the trouble in finding 9mm. It's just a pain to find ammo right now. Yep, the Rock Island TAC Ultra, the double stack 1911. It's sweet. I like it and I miss it. Someday I'll have my own. I was thinking about getting one and doing a competing build with Builder, seeing if I could do it just a little bit different. But I'm not sure if I would end up doing that or not. We'll see. I'm sorry. If I seem distracted, I am also still organizing said shit video images because I mean it's slow motion, so I can still technically use it, but it's just not. I can only use it as B-roll now, and I can't use any of it as montage B-roll because I need audio to do any of that. So, yeah, Shooting Gallery New England says the shop he works at has been out for a little while. They only have 9 for people who actually buy a 9mm handgun, and that is that's the way that a lot of the smaller shops are doing it. We got a shop here in town that's doing that. Our range, my normal gun shop, they are currently only allowing, they're only selling their 9mm if you go to their range and shoot on their range. So, and then the other local shop, they'll just sell it. They're the bigger shop, so they get a lot more inventory of that kind of stuff coming in. Kathleen says, I shot a P10F and it was okay, but the dingus bugged you. So yeah, the CZ triggers, the stock triggers are kind of a funny shape. The dingus is a little bit more protruding than I would like it to be. It's not as uncomfortable for me as like a Glock trigger. Even the Gen 5s are more uncomfortable as far as feeling that the trigger safety tab. But yeah, it's kind of a shame really with some of the guns out there that they're not a little bit better with that, with smoothing that out. Now, I will tell you, I did find out the reason that trigger safety tab protrudes on quite a few guns, and it makes sense, but it's still annoying. So the reason they do that is for shooters with gloves on. They protrude it just a little bit because a shooter, if you had gloves on and you were to press the trigger back, if you were relying on that trigger shoe to go flush with the face, it wouldn't do that with gloves on. The gloves would squish a little bit, so they allow it to protrude a little bit to always get the trigger safety off when you pull the trigger. So that's the reason for it. But that doesn't make it any more comfortable to non-gloved shooters. And since 99% of people shoot without gloves 98% of the time, we'll say. It's just not a comfy thing for bare hands. I wish they could come up with a way to do both more effectively, but I guess they haven't, because pretty much everybody is still making the protruding trigger safety tab. So, but I mean, it could be worse. It could be like SIG, where they just don't put the safety tab on there and the gun shoots when you drop it. So there is always that. If you can't have one, it's the other. So yeah, I was talking about flashlights earlier. I've got let's see, I have two X300s, a TLR1, and I've got an Olight around here somewhere. I'm going to compare all of those together, because honestly, I'm interested in flashlights and night shooting. I took a night class. It's actually been a little over a year ago now, unfortunately. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Dan Beals in the house. I took a it's a low light and advanced movement course a little over a year ago, and got me thinking a lot about it. I actually, because of that course, I actually prefer see your comment. Which one? Shot well, but not way better than her Glock slide in Timberwolf frame. Yeah, I mean, I think the Timberwolf frames, I've never shot one. I've held one though, and it does just feel better than a stock Glock. So I could see how that would kind of help a little bit. And when you're comparing guns like that, like the P10F versus a Glock 17 versus a VP9, it's hard to see any quantifiable difference in the actual shooting. The majority of what you're going to see is feeling. This one felt better. I just shot an FN 509 and a VP9 and my P10C today, and well, let's talk about the Springfield Hellcat versus the SIG 365. Manny says, "What, alive without builder in you?" Well, when you randomly think about it because you just got mad because you totally screwed things up, that happens. But like the 365 versus the Hellcat, between the two, there's no quantifiable difference. I just shot both of those guns today. The groups were almost identical from 10 yards, but it comes down to certain little features about them and certain feelings about them. So, I mean, if you like the Glock better, then that's what you should have. That's what you should get. Shooting Gallery in England says, yeah, you still want the TFX sticker. I mean, I would seriously consider burning it if you sent it to me. It's not going to go anywhere nice, and it's not going to be treated well, because TFX Pros suck. I will shout that from the mountains till the day I die. Let's see. Oh, poor Dan. We're talking about aftermarket Glock frames and CZs. I don't know a whole lot about the aftermarket Glock frame, so we won't step too much into that pile. But the CZs I know quite a bit about. Oh yeah, I did need. Oh, all right, Manny. All right, so Manny, I accidentally recorded my entire 2 hours worth of range time and massive amount of ammo dump in 120 frames per second with no audio. That was, my camera was flipped by one little dial thing. So Dan says he prefers 360 over the Hellcat. I actually am the other way around. I like the trigger on the Hellcat a little bit more. A lot of it more, actually. I think the 365 trigger is just it's terrible and disgusting. The sights between the two, but like looking at them, the sights are almost identical. The slide releases are almost identical. The magazine, it was weird. I was loading the mags, and the Hellcat mags, the bullets do a weird funky thing. They don't push down like they do in like a normal double stack magazine. So when you go to load them, you kind of got to wobble them a little bit. So per round, it was kind of a pain to load. But then the 365 mags, those, for anybody who owns a 365, that last 10th round in that magazine is so hard to get in there that like it's kind of a toss up between the two. The Hellcat's more of a pain in the ass for every single round, but then the 365, that last round will like damn near take the end of your thumb off. So, to ammo's cheap. Well, Builder, if ammo is cheap, would you like to donate some? And it's actually not just the ammo. I mean, it's the time too. It takes me a lot to be able to get out for a good range session. And I had a good long chunk of time today. Like I was super pumped about being able to go out, and then I just trashed the opportunity. I've got a lot of good B-roll, but that's about it. So let's see. Kathleen says High Points rock. Shooting Gallery is still attempting to get me to take that sticker. I think you should put it on your car, man. I think your car, or maybe do you have like a toolbox for your gunsmithing stuff? Just plaster right on the side of there. Just right on there. That'll look great. Kathleen, I thought about crying. I guess that's true, Builder. You did donate 50 rounds that you got for free, and then you promptly shot them the next weekend. So I do appreciate that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't not appreciate it, but yeah. Like Dan says, it's like the shield mags for Glocks with the 365. I've actually never shot a used one of those shield mags. I've heard good, I've heard bad, but I've never used one. So Manny says, go eat some ribs and feel better. I don't have ribs to feel better while eating. I actually, some good old chicken nuggets with some honey barbecue sauce from B-Dubs sounds really good right about now. But no, it's not happening. Shooting Gallery says it's tough on him because he's building a 5.56 AR pistol, but 5.56 is hard to find. It is. Everything is hard to find. Like I've had a hard time finding 5.56 6.5. Well, shoot, Builder, our normal resident, I don't know what you want to call him. I don't know, gun giant. No, he's not that tall. He's just tall compared to me. But he's got a 45-70 that he can't find ammo for. So even 45-70 is shy on the ammo. It's it's getting bad, and it's not going to get better anytime soon. Kathleen says ammo's 25 a box at her range for Reman. We're looking at 20 to 30. I don't know exactly how much. Manny's trying to get me to DoorDash some food. Not happening. I got a really big problem with paying people to do something that I can do. And obtaining food from a restaurant is one of those. I just like it's hard for me to spend extra money to get somebody just to go to the thing and get it and bring it to me. I would rather just save the money and go do it because that's how I am. Let's see. Dan says he has a great shield mag and a horrible shield mag. Let's see, doing research at the shop, we found out there are huge inconsistencies on the sizing. There is probably a reason for that, Dan. So I listened to a podcast with, I think it was We Like Shooting. They were talking to the guy who at Shield who made the Shield mags. They were still running. I don't know if they've switched over by now, but they are not running on production tooling. They are still running on design, like the test tooling. They're still trying to build up the money for the full production tooling. That's one of the reasons why they come in small lots. It's probably one of the reasons why you're getting inconsistency in sizing. So it's unfortunate, but it's kind of the product. Excuse me. It's kind of the byproduct. Magazines are not cheap to make. The material is, it's not too expensive, but it's also not cheap. The process is the big one. It's progressive stamping, and progressive stamps can cost multiple houses worth to be able to get that tooling. So that's what they had said, that they were still on the test tooling and that they were working on saving up the money for the design tooling. They wanted to make sure that they got all of the little things right before buying that production tooling, because once you spend the money on that, that is what it is. There aren't modifications to production tooling for progressive stamping. So that would be my guess. I would see it getting better, but I'm not sure when, obviously, you know. See, Shooting Gallery says 380 is non-existent in his area at the moment. Yeah, I've seen 40 about as much as I've seen 9. I've seen 380 probably about twice as often as I see 9. The 38 or 38 and 357 mag are non-existent, like 9 is. 44 mag, same, haven't seen it for a long time. 556, they've seen it about the same as 9mm. Haven't seen any local 6.5 Grendel. I've had to order all of my 6.5 Grendel, which is just a bummer. Let's see. So Turbo Pause talking to Builder says, are you using Remington 1911 R1 double stack mags in your TAC Ultra? They at least have witness holes. I don't know, Turbo, if the Remington R1 double stacks will fit, but I do know Para P18 magazines will fit. Now you will have to change the base pads if you're running any of the magwells. So if you're running a magwell, you will have to change that base pad. The stock magwell will take the stock base pads or the Taylor Freelance. The Taylor Freelance magwell will require Taylor Freelance base pads, but the Taylor Freelance base pads for the TAC Ultra mags will fit on the Para P18 mags. So those seem to be kind of the best. There should be a link in the description of my Ultimate TAC Ultra video for all of that. So there you go. Oh, they do work in that. Cool. Well, if you do that, Taylor Freelance also has what am I trying to say? Extended base pads for those as well. So yeah. So Shooting Gallery says, not gonna lie, if he had a 43X or 48, he would not buy the Shield mags. Because for like 6 months, every YouTube channel did a video plastered all over Instagram about him. So wait, you wouldn't buy them just because they did it, or because you're not sure about it? At this point, I would probably, if I owned a 43X or a 48, I would own at least one Shield mag, just to test it. You know, I would rather buy it, test it, find out it didn't work, or find out it did work, than not have given that a shot. But I think whenever they get their production tooling up and running, it should be a pretty solid option. So they're nice. Let's see. Okay, he said they just switched over to Checkmate from 11M Manufacturing, so hopefully it'll get better. Well, there you go. It's manufacturing with thin steel like that. Tolerances are so hard to hit because of spring back. You know, you've got to have that tooling just right, and especially when you're bending stuff the way that they were bending it, because they weren't running in that progressive stamping method. They were running a spot at a time, and just getting that to do what they wanted to do just doesn't work right using that method. So I'm going to pop over here really quick and try to get another file transferred. Let's see. This one is the first shots of the FN 509, which also doesn't have any audio on it, which is fantastic, right? Who wants audio on a first shots video? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. It wouldn't be so bad, again, except I don't mind running no audio in B-roll stuff, but man, you stick that in the main video in like the shooting montage at the beginning, that does not work. Let's see. So Shooting Gallery says he would, because every video he said saw they were amazing, but he's heard mags are having issues. I mean, you'll run into that a lot. You know, I've seen a couple of channels say stuff about that, but about them being like not so great, but it's not been the main channels. Most of the time, the problem is the bigger channels, they get stuff, they test it for a very short amount of time, and say with the Shield mag, they'll toss, you know, like 6 or 7 magazines through a gun and then give their review on it. Well, okay, but I've gotten, 2 years and thousands of rounds into owning a gun, and then a problem pops up. So it's the longer term the testing, the better, but you can't really expect those guys to test them for that long, just because they got to get product out there. I mean, I'm guilty of doing, as I said, I did first shot videos today. I'm guilty of, dropping my reviews from 1,000 rounds down to 500, and now they're down to about 250 to 300 rounds, just because I can't afford it. But they, you always got to pump that material out. So I've heard, we've got a local guy who his have run pretty well. Humble Marksman's had a few, and I believe his ran pretty well. He was actually running extended base pads too, and they ran well. Then I heard from somebody else that they weren't running well. So I think it's just a crapshoot at this point. And I think it's probably, to Dan's point, I think it probably is tolerancing, and it's probably because of their tooling. So hopefully that'll work itself out. Let's see. Kathleen says, what do people think about the gun tax talk? I think you're talking about the expansion of the NFA, is what I'm assuming you're talking about, and basically encapsulating things like magazines that hold over 10 rounds, AR-15s, and other semi-automatic sporting rifles as opposed to hunting rifles, that kind of thing, and the tax talk. Well, people who know anything about guns, and especially people who have ever had to deal with the NFA items, obviously know about it and absolutely hate it. I actually got into a relatively nasty, see you, Manny, have a good night, man, back and forth with somebody on Facebook. This person is a lawyer and doesn't like to bother reading law. She had I had pointed out the fallacy in the Biden's whole how they're not coming after your guns, where they actually, I mean, obviously we all know that they are coming after your guns. If you can't pay the money to keep this item that you already own, if you can't pay to keep it, then you have to relinquish it for what I guarantee will be under market value. See you, builder. And so that is confiscation. Forcing someone to sell you something is not freedom in the least. That's not a choice. You don't have the choice to do something. It's not like if you don't have the money, you have to do this. That's not a choice. And again, I think we all agree with that, that putting that stuff on there would be asinine. The majority of gun owners wouldn't be able to afford to keep the items that they already legally purchased. And the problem is that the way it's worded on Biden's site, he talks about the NFA, but he only says that he wants to include those guns in it. He never actually talks about the NFA. We all know about it. To us, it's common knowledge what the NFA is, what it entails, what you have to do to purchase an item that is registered in the NFA. But they don't, and they don't look it up. So again, going back to my Facebook conversation with this lawyer, who I brought up what the NFA is, what it does, and she asked me to link the NFA, the 1934 NFA, and the subsequent, 1969, whatever it is. Anyway, I told her no. I said, you're a lawyer. You can go do your own damn research. That's not my job to do your research for you. And she said, well, you're the one bringing up this NFA. I figure you should bring it. You should, link it. To which I said, no, the NFA was listed on his website as what he wants to expand. If you decided not to look up what that was and plead ignorance on what that particular item was, and then I tell you what that item is, that's not on me to have to go out and do all your research for you. You didn't know. I helped you know. You want to fact check me? That's fine. Go find the crap, but it's bullshit. Going back to the comments a little bit. So WCW says, in other words, how you get another civil war. You know what? I honestly don't think so, because the right has bitten its tongue for so long that I don't think they're gonna do anything. I think people are just going to keep their guns and be criminals, and that's just what we'll do. That'll be the new norm, is hiding and pretending and making excuses. I think, let's see, was it Shooting Gallery New England? I don't know why yours isn't showing up in the main chat, but he said, do I think the T-Man will lose in court? Yeah. Biden's going to be the president. I don't think, I just don't think so. Jordan says, just got here. Why do I look so depressed? And do I need you to jump on a black pill for? So I effed up all of my range footage today. Is why I look depressed. I recorded in slow motion with no audio, which wouldn't be a bad idea, or wouldn't be so bad if I didn't need shooting montages, and if I hadn't done 3 different videos where I was talking to the camera, and intro and outro and all that good stuff. So yeah. Let's see, but yeah, I don't. I really don't think much is going to happen. Unfortunately, now that being said, I also don't think that Biden's NFA plan will pass. So there is that. I don't, at least not in the first 2 years of his presidency. I don't think that will pass. They may, not saying that a gun control legislation won't pass. I don't think that pistol braces are long for this world. I don't think that they've already talked about expanding that, and the Trump has not done a good job of overseeing the ATF. The ATF is primarily headed by a lot of people who were put in place by Obama. So the ATF is still primarily run that way. Trump has not replaced them because that is not his priority, contrary to what he fed you all. I've always had my doubts about him anyway, and he has not really helped me feel any better about that as far as firearms goes. And so he just left those people in charge. So Biden's going to be rolling in with a list of ATF heads that is already on his side, and he's already packing his his czar list with people who are extremely anti-gun. So I'm just not very hopeful right now. Makugjo says government will pick off individuals one by one, must organize. Maybe picking off individuals one by one will get the organization to happen, but it's not going to happen before that. If it's not happened thus far with a lot of the different stuff that's gone on, it's not going to happen until something serious goes on. Adam Mendoza says, when do you think things will normalize as far as ammo and firearms? Okay. I think ammo stock will be back late next year, but prices will not. I don't think prices are going to level off I think they're probably leveling off right about now. What the prices that we see, $30 for a box of 9, etc. I think that's probably going to hold. I don't think they'll drop down till 2022, probably second quarter of 22. And when it does drop back down, we are not going to see the $10 per box of 9 like we have enjoyed for the last 4 years. Now, that being said, the last time all this stuff happened in 2012 with Sandy Hook, said the same thing, that we would never see those numbers again. And they came back, they did end up end up dropping back down. So is my audio cutting out to you guys? No, I think it's my headphones. Like everything's just broken here. It sucks. Anyway, work after losing an $800 range day. There's no political solution. Today of all days was a metric bummer of a day. It kind of sucked. Great and consistent. Fantastic. Thanks, man, for the kind words about my soothing voice. I'm kind of sad that you didn't write soothing in there. Great, consistent, and soothing. I could talk real low like this. Whisper a little bit in your ear. Jordan, put your ear right up to the microphone. I'm talking to you, man. How's it going? That got real weird. I'm sorry, guys. It's not only is it night and I've had a bad day, but now I'm just sleep deprived. So hey, let's see. I'm in both your ears. That's awkward. that got real weird real quick. Anyway, my range trip today was fun though. Yes, Kathleen, I'm aware that was weird. I took out a VP9 and let's see, VP9, FN509. Both of those are fun guns. I actually prefer the VP9 over the 509 after shooting them. The 509's got an Apex trigger in it, and I still like the VP9 more. Hellcat versus 365. Tried to roll some B-roll with my P10C with the Overwatch trigger to try to get that done. But obviously I'm going to have to re-record that. And I shot the 6.5 Grendel for the first time. 6.5 Grendel is my new favorite intermediate caliber. Okay, so Shooting Gallery says he was talking to John Grump of GOA today, and he was saying that the Georgia Senate race is our real hope for the 2A. The Georgia Senate race? What's? I mean, I guess it could be, but my hopes aren't high. They need, at this point, we can't relinquish all of the legislative and executive branches to the left. We can't. We can't let that happen. They can't have a majority in all three of those, or they can't have a majority in the two houses, and they can't have the presidency all at the same time. Because they, unlike the Republicans, they will capitalize on that. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. They're just biding their time until it happens. So Kathleen says she likes her Glock Overwatch trigger. So yes, we, in our trigger review that we did with the 5 different Glock triggers, we ran a 5. Yeah, 5. We had an Overwatch, and the Overwatch actually won. I wouldn't say won that matchup. I guess it was the greatest overall trigger of that group. But the Overwatch trigger in the P10 makes it feel like a Glock trigger. And I did not buy a P10 to have a Glock trigger, bought a P10 to have a CZ trigger. And so that's where that kind of frustrates me a little bit. It's not a bad trigger. It's just, it breaks at a different point, and it's a very rolling break. And I like crisp walls and a break rather than a rolling break. But so it is coming out eventually after I get done with the review, which is another reason why I'm somewhat frustrated, because I'm ready to get a different trigger in that thing, and now I can't because I have to go back and re-record the B-roll. So yay. Along with burning another $30 worth of ammo. Nothing wrong with that, right? Actually, the P10 one ended up really bad anyway, so. Shooting Gallery says he's been considering putting an Overwatch trigger in his 19. The Overwatch trigger's freaking great in a Glock. They are, again, so Glock triggers vary so much, gun to gun, like stock triggers vary so much, but the Overwatch trigger was a pretty good improvement. We also did Agency. Agency was just, I mean, that's actually the one that I kept in mind, and it is fan-freaking-tastic. I think it's I think it's about the same. Overwatch was 135-ish, I think. Agency was 135, and then the what was the other one? Apex. Obviously Apex. Apex is just one of those, like, you can't go wrongs. They're just consistently really good triggers. Jordan says, just shop your shot, like, Photoshop my face into nothing fancy B-roll. Isn't his video like 99% B-roll anyway? I could just take some of that and nobody would ever know, because I'll just take it from the end, because nobody ever gets that far. Kathleen says they make poly Overwatch triggers. They do make Glock poly Overwatch triggers. I've heard good things about them. I personally am an aluminum trigger, a metal trigger shoe fan. The reason is I like how much it stiffens up the trigger mechanism system. I like that all to be relatively rigid, and that's what that metal frame does. All right, have a good one, Shooting Gallery. Have a happy Thanksgiving to you as well, man. I never know what to like. How do you respond to that? If somebody says have a happy Thanksgiving, he's like, you too, or like, have a happy, eat lots of turkey. But yeah, we actually still don't know what we're doing on Thanksgiving, because things are effing crazy right now, as you all know. Kathleen says nothing fancy guy is a gun weirdo. He is kind of a gun weirdo. He's an interesting chap, for sure. Very interesting guy. That's good, Jordan. I might use that. Oh, believe me, I will. Won't be shooting, because now I'm out of ammo and I need B-roll. Damn it. I'm just mad. Dang it. Drat. Let's see, what's this one? I gotta keep moving stuff, because that's actually why I'm down here. Oh, this is range bag stuff, so that I can move over to the right bag. There we go. You and you and you guys all move over here. Move. Okay. Oh, Kathleen's not doing Thanksgiving. Are you not doing Thanksgiving because you're just not doing Thanksgiving, or are you not doing or are you not doing it because of COVID, or are you not doing Thanksgiving because of the way the Pilgrims treated the Native Americans? Just curious. Hey, Harry, how's it going? And yeah, nothing fancy hasn't evolved at all. He's still doing the exact same stuff that he has always done, and still has more subs than me. So hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He has a following that absolutely loves his like 3-hour friggin' reviews and stuff. So, all right, we're gonna get off here probably in about 5 minutes, guys. Just a heads up there. You've done a relatively okay job at cheering me up, but I got work to do. So now that Harry's here, I've been caught. Anyway, Jordan's taking unregistered Title II firearms into Illinois and meeting with dozens of people unmasked. That actually sounds like a really good time. Let's see. The governor, Sam V. What state do you live in? The governor of your state canceled Thanksgiving? Like, you can't cancel Thanksgiving. It's still a day. It still means a thing. I mean, he could be a douchebag and be like, you can't go anywhere, but you better be in, like, Italy or some shit like that. Although Italy, they don't do Thanksgiving, so there's that. Anyway, you too, Jordan. Have a great thing. I mean, oh, trust me, I will. I gotta get better at that, don't I? Yeah, that is true. Harry says Biden doesn't even know where he is, so he doesn't think he's capable of cheating. I don't think it was Biden that cheated. Biden is ignorant, I think. I think he's like he's kind of like the Dems version of George W. Bush, except senile and significantly less funny. But the funniest thing about Biden is his memes. Sam V says, Oregon, dude, that sucks. So did they just say you can't get together with anybody, or do you have like restrictions on how many people or how many households, that kind of stuff? here, I think we're on like a no more than 50 people restriction legally, but they've also told us that they don't want us going out of town. So I don't know. Oh, Jordan just got me. I don't know if that's, I'm assuming he actually meant the okay sign, but that's not what that used to mean. So, and then it's not that, people. It's not the white power crap. So stop that stuff. Anyway, yes, Kathleen, Biden is just a front, and that is an unfortunate thing, really, because his ignorance is it. It almost gives him like this loving puppy dog thing. Like, people like him because he's a fucking idiot. Sorry for the F-bomb, but he doesn't know what's going on. And that, like, people use that, I think, as the reason why they can see past the corruption of the left, is because Biden himself doesn't have the capacity to do it. But not having the capacity to do it doesn't mean that he's not a part of the party that is predominantly doing it. I mean, we already know that the DNC rigged both of the presidential nominations for the Democratic Party. Like, Hillary and Biden, neither one of them were supposed to be the nominees per the popular vote, but they got it. So if they're willing to do that and screw over their own people, why do people think that they're morally above doing something like that to screw over the people that they absolutely hate? Like, it doesn't make sense why people completely ignore that is a possibility. So Sam says 10 per household. That is a little bit insane. So what if you have, like, what if you're a couple with like 11 kids and you all live in the same house? Like, do you have to like kick 2 of your children out? I don't get it. Or three of your children. You just have to throw them outside and they have to eat in a separate place. So yeah, yeah, Sam, crack's legal though, so you're good there. So you can't eat with your whole family, but hey, let's all die of ODs. Why am I being a weepy whiner? Hey, I'm not being a weepy whiner. You didn't hear what the hell happened, Humble. You would cry too. No, I went out to record my range videos today. I was out on the range for about like hour and 45 minutes, shy of 2 hours, somewhere around there. Filmed like 6 videos, and I got home. My camera's got this little rolly tab up here on the top that pre-selects scenes and stuff. I keep it on movie so that I don't like accidentally take pictures. It popped one spot over, and one spot over is S&Q, which automatically drops it onto 120 frames per second. So slow motion, no audio. So 2 hours worth of range time, 200 rounds of 9mm, 60 rounds of 5.56, and 30 rounds of 6.5 Grendel, no audio. That was my day today. So I'm a little bit bummed. Anyway, oh yeah, oh shit's right. Yeah, it was well, I can do voiceovers. The problem is, so the one that I'm super mad about is dub it in. I'll just dub it in like the old Chinese ones where like I don't even bother trying to match the lips at all. It's just going crazy. So the problem is that one of the videos, the very first one that I did the video for, like, cause a lot of it I'm fine with with slow motion. That's good for like background B-roll stuff. But all of my do bad lip reading. I like that idea. But all of my my opening montage stuff, like I've got my Overwatch trigger that I really need to get the review out of. I have no audio for the opening montage of that now. None. And like I've put in shooting like bullet sound audio before to fill in. I did a drone footage in the Archon review, and drones don't have audio on them, so I had to put bullet sounds in above that. But man, it's going to make it so much harder. It would have been so much easier if I had everything and not been a dum-dum. So basically, I'm an idiot. Jordan says you'll get way more hits on the dubbed version. I think you're probably right. You know what? I might do that on one of them. I just have to figure out which one I want to just totally throw to the wind and do the dubbed version of, and how to market it then. So, it's there we go. Oh, there we go. Kathleen's got it. Just make the bullet sounds. Just pew pew pew. I could just download bullet sounds from like websites and stuff and just toss those in there. That would be great. It's not going to get any views. And Jordan says record over with a horrible Japanese accent. Dude, I am the worst at accents. Like I cannot do accents at all. So probably not going to happen. Me trying to do accents is like Arnold trying to talk without one. Like it's not happening. So it would not be horrible. It would just be absolute terrible. Humble's doing some videos for Jordan. But yeah, so my day has just been shot. It was, the bad part is like I was so pumped too about it. It was a good range day. I was having a good time, got a lot done, and it just went to crap very quickly after I came down here and started moving stuff. Do a fake German accent. Did you not hear all the talk that I just said about me not being able to do? I can't do accents. I just can't do it. It's terrible. Oh man, I'm looking at some of the range footage right now, and it is it's not the best. Should I do it in slow motion too, and like try to slow down my words to match what I think that I'm saying? That's what it looks like I'm saying right now on that one. Let's see. Here's the, oh man, the framing was even great on the 6.5 Grendel one. Downright awesome. And yet, now I can't use it at all. Sorry, I'm going to take a look at my, if I ever freaking shoot this stupid thing, just shoot it. Jeez. But bam. I was super like nervous about shooting this, the Grendel, like, so I built this thing basically from the ground up, and I always get nervous when I do stuff like that. So I was shooting it kind of sitting away from it because I don't like my face being that close to an untested gas gun. But Kathleen, you just did naked range footage. That's an interesting day. Now, Humble, you and your disdain for CZ, I tell you what. I will say, Humble, I shot a VP9 today. Dude, those are nice. I also shot a 509 with an Apex. The VP9 was better. I was actually really surprised. I've heard a lot of really, really good stuff about the 509. It wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't great. Like, people just have raved about that thing, and it's okay. It's all right. The VP9's better. I would take a lot of guns over the 509 at this point. And that was with an Apex trigger in it. I'd still take a lot of other guns. See, Humble says, at his match this weekend, when it got cold, all of a sudden, one Shadow 2 crapped the bed, and both tactical sports had issues. The tactical sports honestly don't surprise me that much. People rant and rave about the tac sport, and it's a good value of a gun, but it just seems like it could be finicky. It just seems finicky. Sam says the SAR 9's not bad. I really want to shoot one of those. I was actually just talking to a friend about that, and I had kind of a short back and forth with John Patton of the Gun Collective, and the Gun Collective, and The SAR 9, like, it's been tempting to me, but I just don't think the interest is there market wise to be able to get the viewers to be able to justify buying one. So, see, Jordan says, I'm reading this because Humble specifically says Jordan has it about right. 509s were only impressive to people who have only owned first gen MMPs and XDs, and you may be right there, my friend, because it's like, it wasn't bad. Like, it shot okay. It wasn't very comfortable. The grip is it's a weird grip. The texturing and stuff, it rubs in a lot of weird places. It's missing chamfering that it should have. I'll say this compared to the first gen P10s, FN got that slide or that mag release right. Like, the FN mag release is butter compared to the P10 mag release. It's P10 mag release is just crap on those ambi guns. I've been told to check my DMs. If this is an unsolicited deck pick, then I am not going to be a happy camper. Let's see here. Not that one. This one. What's that all about, Jordan? I don't get it. All right. Anyway. So, yeah, wait, what's not? Oh, yeah. Humble has moved on from Glocks. He's joined the world of decent guns with the rest of us. Ha! Take that, Glock guys. But no, Glocks aren't terrible, but dang it, that didn't send. There we go. They're not terrible. I just prefer many, many other guns to them. Rub it in weird places. So Harry says the regular FN mag release is way worse than the tactical extended release. Worse in what way? Like, harder to use? I could see that. The tactical release, it's like they just can't. They just stuck it out there, and they didn't like pay any attention to, well, we put this thing further out, it's gonna be further out, so now it's gonna like bug your hand, but let's just leave that sharp edge on the end. Like, it definitely needs a chamfer or a radius on there to be able to not rub on. Like, it rubs your palm right here, and it sucks. Like, it's just not comfortable. Well, Humble, you said you haven't joined any world. You're just messing around in the off season. But correct me if I'm wrong, but you did not run a Glock at Nationals, my friend. That was not a Glock. At least I don't believe it was, unless you lied to me. I didn't. I watched your Nationals thing, but rumor of a P320 Max model for 1,500 with 4 21-round magazines. Now that would be marketing genius. I really believe that, because I've seen pictures of Max's gun, and it is not an X5. He's not running a stock X5. He's actually, the frame that he's running has the cut in like the X Compact does. The X5 Legion has a really wide beaver tail on the back, and it's got like a weird ledge, and it jumps back in to get to the or to get to the slide release. Well, the gun that he was running at one point over the season didn't have that big back ledge. It actually had narrowed down to like the X Compact. So I think he is coming out with a signature gun. It'll probably be tungsten infused still. But $1,500 sound, yeah, probably. Ruger American Pistol Competition. That actually, you know what? I want to try that thing just to see, because I don't know if I'm a masochist or what, but I want to try all the guns. I want to throw a bunch of different optics ready competition guns in a pot together and see what boils and what, pooters out. But, the Ruger shooters, Humble. So Humble says their shooters showed up at the match in North Texas Open. Guns weren't 100% reliable. And I agree with Jordan. That does not surprise me at all. They're Ruger, as far as their pistols goes, they don't make that. That's above their pay grade of pistol. Ruger makes really good lower end pistols, bare essentials and stuff. But man, once you get up into like and I'm not talking about revolvers. Ruger revolvers are like super nice. I like Ruger revolvers, but their semi-automatics are just not there. It's like I compare a Canik, which is a $325 gun. The polymer on a Canik feels like the polymer on Ruger's guns, and that's about the price point they should be at. Now, I guess the Ruger American Pistol Competition does come in at a decent price, but it's still not. It's not going to be the quality of the other ones. It's just not, unfortunately. So, Humble, what guns do you see most people using? Okay, so I'm going to run this down because Humble's talking. So he says, in carry optics, it's probably first is Legion, second is modified CZs, but by a pretty good margin, the Legion dominates carry optics, which makes sense. It is a purpose-built, relatively well-priced gun for, it's competing again. I mean, the 34 is a better price, but you're still looking at, the Legion is what, about $150 more than the 34, and you're getting a heavier gun. That's about it. A heavier gun. So, because I believe all 34s are MOS now, and they come in at like $750 to pushing $8, and the Legions are like pushing $9-ish. So, let's see. So Jordan says, way off topic, but did you see Henry announced they've updated basically all of their models with side gates? I did not see that, but good. Oh, right after you built a 350 Legend AR. That does kind of suck. But that's a modification that Henry should have done a long time ago. I guess that they were trying it out on their X model, but it obviously did pretty good. Humble says, in production, this is going back to which guns are used. Probably CZ is top, Tang Foglio as 1 or 2, but nobody's doing production anymore. Production has shrunk drastically, like drastically. Harry, I agree. I would rather have a Canik design than a Ruger design. Well, as far as pistols goes, yes. I mean, I don't know what else Canik makes, but Ruger makes, they make good bolt guns. They make good semi-autos. They make really good revolvers. Just their semi-auto rifles. But their semi-automatic handguns are just cheap. They're cheap. So, I mean, I love the cheaper ones, the ones that are what they should be, the LCPs, the LC9s. Like, they do their job and they do them okay. But you get up above that and pass. Let's see. Jordan says he'd love to see Tang Foglio design and release a striker-fired pistol. I was really, really hoping that CZ's striker pistol was going to be based off of their geometry on their standard frames and stuff. But that didn't happen, obviously. I don't think Tang Foglio would do the same thing either. Tang Foglio is... I mean, look at their primary design. They stole their primary design. Not stole. I guess that stole is a very rough term for that. The CZ75 is the most copied handgun in the world. It doesn't have a patent on it. So, I mean, why would you try to reverse engineer, or why would you try to reinvent the wheel when the wheel is free? So, let's see. Crystal Frost says, anyone know of a good belt brand that has larger belt sizes? I run a Ghost USA, and I think Double Alphas would probably have that as well. I don't know what size you're considering larger belt size, and I don't know what size they would run standard anyway. So, but I would check those two. I would actually check Double Alpha before Ghost. Ghost is okay, a little bit cheaper, but mine has an unraveling string in it that's driving me insane lately. So Sam B says he hopes ProMag comes out with a 30-round magazine for a CZP-10F. I won't buy ProMag. I've had some major issues with ProMags before. But I actually almost bought some ProMags for my SIG, but I decided against it. It wasn't worth the risk. So, yeah. YNH says he loves his SR22. The SR22 is a solid little 22. When it came out, really the only other, like, I don't know if you want to call it tactical 22 pistol, was the Walther P22. And it's once the SR22 came out, nobody bought the Walthers anymore. So Sam says he hates reloading at the range. Seems like a waste of time when you bring 500 rounds to the range. That's true. I did spend a massive amount of time today reloading. That's never a fun thing. Let's see. Jordan, you're right. Tankfoglia does at least look at the CZ design and make some changes that CZ should have made. But yeah, Crystal, I'm not sure about bigger belts than that. I'm really not. Humble might be able to help you out. Oh, Manny says get a dominant defense belt. So there you go. Check them out and see what they've got. Let's see. Is the Tankfoglio firing pin block? It doesn't have the retaining pin for the firing pin, right? I don't think. Anyway, wait, what are we talking about? CZ Custom? Sorry, I jumped ahead and then I shouldn't have. And now my whole thing is messed up. There we go. All right, so dang it, there. So is Cajun Gunworks still the preferred upgrade shop? Red says CZ Custom does solid work. So it depends on what you want to do. If you are sending your gun to them, but this is between Cajun Gunworks and CZ Customs. If you're sending your gun in, either place will be fine. If you are purchasing components and parts, Cajun Gunworks is the way to go. I have had less modification needed to Cajun Gunworks parts to get them to work than CZ Custom parts. Let's see. Kathleen says mechanically declined. Yeah, that'll happen a lot. But yeah, if you're sending it in, either one of those places will do. I would probably still lean Cajun. CZ Custom, they shine in their custom builds, like their full built guns. They make really, really good custom guns. Their trigger jobs and stuff are good, but I would lean Cajun Gunworks in that trash. I'm reading and talking at the same time. I would lean Cajun Gunworks there. Humble says that one of his guys had a Cajun Gunworks milled slide and they screwed it up. What'd they screw up, Humble? Inform. Let's see. So if you're looking at optics milling, I wouldn't send mine. If you're just getting it milled for a CZ, I wouldn't send mine to either one of them. I am going to Primary Machine. Primary Machine has been doing optics milling for CZs for quite a while, and that is what they do is machining. They're not like a parts shop that also does machining. So that's where I'm sending mine is Primary Machine. Let's see. The plunger for the Tankfoglios in the frame. That's smart. That is smart. Darn it. Come on, CZ. Get your crap together. CZ, I think, they kind of ride along with kind of like Glock was doing with the Gen 3, where they just, it worked and there were issues, but people just never, and the Gen 3 Glock is solid too. It didn't at least, shoot itself apart in dry fire. But it's one of those things, the CZ customer base has to be less accepting of some of the major faults that CZ has. But that also means that they have to listen, or that they have to pay attention to that, So, let's see. Kathleen Humble is talking about the firing pin block. So the firing pin block is a block that stops the firing pin from being able to go forward and strike the primer unless the trigger is pulled. On a CZ, it's up in the slide, and what that does is that makes it so that you can't use a rear plate to retain the firing pin, which is why the CZs have that crossbar in the slide holding the firing pin in, which is a major point of failure. So removing that, pulling it down to the bottom, allows you to use the plates to retain the firing pin, therefore removing that firing pin retaining pin. Man, that takes a lot longer to actually say than you would think. But let's see. So this is talking about the screwed up milling. Says the front to back measurement was off, so there's no contact between the optic and slide before or after. Front of the optic cut is notably lower than, the front of the cut is notably lower than the rear. Dang. Well, what gun was it on? Because you gotta, so a lot of CZs, the portion of the slide behind the rear sight is lower than the portion of the slide in front of the rear sight. So that may just be an optical illusion thing, unless you're looking at like the chamfering or rounding of the sides, or like where the serrations are and stuff. But I'd be interested in seeing some pictures of that at some point. See, that's my big thing. Like, I want recoil bosses. And if you're not doing recoil bosses, thanks, Humble. If you're not doing recoil bosses, you better do a really good mill job and have to, like really rock that optic in there. Well, their optics plates don't have recoil bosses. That's not cool. I don't like that at all. I haven't sent anything to Cajun Gunworks ever. I have only obtained their parts. So, all right. Well, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. I got work to do before I can go to bed. So we're going to get off here. Thanks everybody for hopping on and talking a little bit and BSing and helping me get over my frustration with my crappy B-roll. I appreciate it. Hopefully this was a little bit entertaining to you guys too. We are not going to have a video this week, so I may pop on tomorrow. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but we shall find out. But yeah, thanks everybody. If I don't see you or I don't talk to you before then, you guys all have a great Thanksgiving. Go out, enjoy this great nation while it's still here, and eat some turkey. Hopefully spend it with family. If you can't actually spend it with family, make sure that you call your loved ones and all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks.